Welcome to How We Grow, an essential playbook to grow and scale your vacation rental business with advice and insights from the best in the biz, with your host, Lynell Gordon. Welcome to How We Grow the Vacation Rental Show. I'm Lynell Gordon, and I have a very special guest today, Rachele Hobbs. Rachele is the CEO of Hobbs Realty out of Holden Beach, where they have about 200 vacation rentals. Welcome to the show, and thank you for coming. Rachele, now you've been in business how long?
Since 1977.
Okay. Now you're not that old. So how long have you been running the business? It's a family business.
1999 was when I stepped in.
Okay. 1999.
Figure it.
I can't believe that. That's been a while. So you've grown, and you've also intentionally changed your inventory size during that time to scale it down. If you were going to give a vacation rental manager who is just starting out advice, what would you say to them?
I would say to a new property manager, the first thing you need to do is find yourself a mentor with all your creativity and your energy and your passion for what you're doing, but there's no need to reinvent the wheel. So find someone to mentor you, someone that will be a great sounding board for you, and then enjoy yourself, but also find yourself a peer group of people that are similar thoughts and similar places, and find yourself a peer group so that you don't have to go it alone, but you can find a community that will help you and come alongside you and support you.
So you're known in the industry as somewhat of a marketing guru because you have what people call
Hobbspitality.
Oh, Hobbspitality. So you have a play on the name of your company.
Yes.
And you use that to market. Tell me a little bit about that, because it's been a really great branding for your company.
So what we've done is we've taken what we call our care values, who we are as a company, and we've put them into a phrase called Hobbspitality so that we can have a cohesive care of our guests from beginning to end. And what we do with that is we try and make every guest feel as special as they are, whether they've been with us 20 years or whether they've been with us 2 years or 1 year. We try and surprise them with something fun and creative every time they come to see us. And recently I had an experience with one of my front desk girls, and we were working on how do we engage with our long-term guests? How do we make them understand how excited we are that they're so loyal to us? And so she asked this question of this guest. She said, "What is it that you love to do when you come? We see that you've been here for the last 14 years. What is it that you really love to do?" And he said, "My favorite thing to do now is to have a bowl of cornflakes with my granddaughter on the porch."
Oh.
So I was getting ready to head down the beach, and I had no idea this had occurred, this conversation, but it was Saturday. We were doing inspections. We have to check our houses. And she walks up to me and hands me a box of cornflakes. And I'm like, "Okay, well, what would you like me to do with this cornflakes? It's breakfast time." "No, it's around 2:00 in the afternoon." She said, "Would you please take this to a certain unit for certain guests?" She said, "I had a conversation with them." And she explained this conversation, and it was so moving to me as not just the owner and the CEO of the business, that she cared enough to respond to this question, to buy this guest some cornflakes, to make sure that we took it. But then he, the guest in turn, had this fabulous personalized experience. So that's kind of what Hobbspitality is. It's doing what we can to make someone feel special.
That's really great. I want you to tell, now there are favorite owner stories and favorite guest stories, and I know you have a lot of them, but there was one that involved sharks that I recall at some point. Would you tell us that story? Because I think that's one of my favorite stories.
Yes. So we had a guest who called, and she was very, very nervous and very upset. We are located on the Atlantic Ocean, which is a natural habitat for marine wildlife.
For sure.
And so she called. She was very upset that she had seen some sharks and wanted to know what we could do for her in this particular instance to remove these sharks from in front of her rental home. So I had one of my vendors, he actually was in the office when we were having the call, and he said, "Don't worry, Rachele, I've got this. I will go handle this for you." So he went down the beach and he knocked on the door and he said hello to the lady. He did not say that he was a representation of our company, but I assume that she must have thought so because she had called us for the issue. And he said he just assured her that he had taken care of this for her. And he just had a conversation with her. And he took her out on the beach and explained to her the safety of the island and calmed her nerves. And voila, she's ours forever.
Now, you have a unique situation. I think it's unique in your company, in the area that you practice in North Carolina. You guys have high return rates for your guests. What is the return rate?
Our average guest loyalty return rate is about 60% each year.
So about 60%. But you mentioned you had people that came for many, many years.
Yes, I do.
Okay, so how do you foster that, encourage that? What is your way to do that?
Your product offering.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing we do is what we have is a legacy program. So we allow our guests that want those same homes for the same week every year, we hold those bookings for them until they've been with us. So they check in on Saturday and they have until Wednesday to rebook that same cottage for that same week next year. So that's a guarantee for them. That is a guaranteed family space, guaranteed family memory for that family. And so they have until Wednesday of their stay. And then on Thursday, we open up our books to anyone to rent for that actual week next year. So we just open up by week each year. We do have about a 60% booking rate for return guests. And it could be that occasionally they have to go up a size in house or they need to go to a smaller house. But they see the value. We have presented them with the value of that family memory time each year. And so it's been very successful for us.
Built by property managers for property managers. Streamline is a powerful software that gives managers enterprise-level capabilities to drive more revenue and improve operational efficiency. Migrating to Streamline allows property managers to gain functionality while reducing the need for multiple vendors, improving flow by logging into a single system and reducing redundant technology costs. With Streamline, property managers achieve revenue lifts by leveraging our fully fledged communication center, reservations quoting system, revenue management tools, homeowner acquisition CRM, and powerful direct OTA connections. Streamline also has industry-leading trust accounting and report capabilities to give you clarity in an overall company performance. Learn more about Streamline Vacation Rental Software at streamlinevrs.com.
Let me ask you this. How do you manage that technologically? Because you obviously can't call each guest or tell them about. How do you tell them? How do you market this? Because it's a successful marketing program. How do you market it?
So we do it through our automated email system that we use through the LSI tools with in conjunction with Streamline. So they get an automated email that just explains the process with your booking. And then don't forget about next year. We begin this messaging in the very beginning. And then 24 hours after check-in, which is usually a Monday for us, we are generally a Saturday to Saturday, then they would get an email reminding them with a little calendar, remind you they can click there and they can book right through the email they get or the text that they get. So they get reminders on Monday before the Wednesday arrives. If it's a long-term guest, we look at our lists each week. And if it's a long-term guest and it's Wednesday evening, I'll give them a call. Okay. One of our team will give them a call. Oh, we were out on the beach, we forgot. Or, we need to level up. We need to move up to a larger home or something. But we do our best to watch that each week.
There's a story that I remember. It's an owner story, so I want you to tell this one. This one was one I remember that you told where your husband was not well during COVID, and your owners did something really, really special for him. The only reason I know is I was actually there when the owner came. Do you remember? So your husband was sick. He'd been sick with COVID, and I'd come to visit. And while I was there at the house, some of your longtime owners came and brought him homemade soup and food and wished him well. And I thought to myself, that's the pinnacle of owner relations when they know that there's been a problem and they come to see you.
They do. And I think that living on the island and being accessible, we've always been accessible to our owners. And it gets interesting when people know where you live.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they can come see you anytime and you answer the door. So it's not 9 to 5 in what we do. It is anytime. But yes, that was very touching. And we got so many handwritten cards and notes when Jimmy was ill that it was very touching. And the homeowner that came, she actually lost her mother, who was our original homeowner.
Oh, wow.
Just recently. And we actually went up and stayed with her
Wow.
and spent some time with them overnight just to be of that journey with her. So we have made valuable friendships. We've made awesome acquaintances and some great friends.
I want to make mention of something too. Let me ask you this. For those property managers who are looking to grow their inventory, well, they want to grow their business. What is your best advice for them for growing? Because I know you've grown to over 350 and you're like, yeah, I don't love this. And I can't remember that. And you were like, yeah, let's scale that back. Tell me, what is your best advice for people that want to grow?
First and foremost, know who you are. Know what you want. Do you want to be all things to all people? Or do you have a certain passion that you only want to do this part of property management?
You mean
Who
like
you are.
luxury versus beach box versus high-end?
Do you want to focus on short stays? Do you want to focus on longer terms? Do you want to say, oh, I want to take everything that's possibly in this area and it doesn't matter to me the conditions. This is, I want, because I think that I can reach guests from all areas. Is that what you want? And for us, for me personally, I would say you need to grow intentionally. You need to know what your goal is, because what will happen is if you just want to grow your inventory, cut your commission, underrate your neighbors, undervalue your neighbors, and it can happen. But that doesn't grow your community. And it doesn't grow your community of owners, because if you want loyalty from your owners, you need to show loyalty to your community and to your neighbors. So intentionally think about what you want and put your whole team behind that.
Right.
And just focus on
Give
that.
them the vision.
And it takes a while when you have a new vision, or even bringing in new team members, when you're trying to train in that onboarding process and you're trying to take them from just trying to understand to actually engaging in your vision.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really important, is taking people from just the knowledge of this is what my business says their care values are.
Mm-hmm.
They need to become each team member's values.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that when they're making decisions on your behalf, they are making those decisions that you would make, because you are training them in the thoughtfulness of your care values, which for us is Hobbspitality. And we have our set of care values, and they spell Hobbs. And it's just being intentional about who you are, because you can get lost in all the shiny new toys and all the great trends, or the people that when you come to things, you come to conferences and people stand in front of you and say, you should do this.
Mm-hmm.
But should you do this? You should really think about what fits your model and what fits you and what is attainable for you, and don't set your team up for failure.
Don't chase the shiny object.
Don't. It will come to you soon enough. It will come to you.
That's good advice. A lot of the people that are on the show give that exact advice. So is there anything else you want to say?
Know your market. We have a fabulous PMS system. We have fabulous channel partners and all this fabulous data that people give us that is in our own PMS systems. But know your market, know your local market, and work hard.
Love what you do. Well, if people want to know more about Hobbspitality and the branding and what you're doing there, along with how you get return renters, can they reach out to you?
Absolutely. My personal email is my name. It's Rachele, Rachele, at hobbsrealty.com. Shoot me an email and I will get back with you.
And if you can't reach her, you can always reach out to me and I can find her, just like I offer that for all guests. And thank you for coming, Rachele. I'm really grateful for the time.
This episode of How We Grow is brought to you by Streamline. To find out more about how Streamline can help grow your vacation rental business, visit streamlinevrs.com. Make sure to search for How We Grow in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found, and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. On behalf of the team here at Inhabit, thanks for listening.